The path to redemption. Angelica Kravchenko stood at the crossroads of her heart, the weight of her recent choices pressing heavily against her chest. For years, she had shared a warm and loving relationship with her girlfriend, Gloria, but she had made a blunder that she couldn't take back. She openly proclaimed her support for a controversial political group, shattering the trust they built over time. With despair nestling in her heart, she resolved to make amends. Picking up her phone had become a ritual of desperation. Despite numerous texts and voicemails left for Gloria, silence reigned. Angelica felt a rush of grief, a gnawing emptiness that echoed her broken relationship. In her time of need, she decided to reach out to her best friend, Sarah, who had always been her anchor. "Sarah, please help me," Angelica pleaded when the call connected. "I need to get Gloria back." "She's hurting, Angelica," Sarah replied gently. "You have to show her that you're serious. How about you invite her out? A movie, maybe?" "I'll try anything," Angelica said, hope flickering in her voice. Meanwhile, Gloria was scrolling through her social media when a familiar notification pinged. A message from Angelica. She hesitated but opened it anyway. "Gloria, I'm sorry for being such an idiot. I know you're still upset, but would you go to the movies with me?" With a deep breath, Gloria replied reluctantly, "Okay, I'll go, but this is your last chance." With anticipation and anxiety building in her heart, Angelica arrived at Crow Canyon Theater, waiting to meet Gloria. Their reunion was wrought with mixed emotions as they bought tickets to Enlightenment, an intriguing film that had captured Angelica's interest. As the lights dimmed, they settled into their seats, but as the film started, Angelica's phone blared to life. "Oh no," she yelped, hands fumbling to silence the device. The audience, clearly unimpressed, turned to glare at them, but before Angelica could apologize, the theater erupted into chaos. The commotion led to a tall, striking woman bursting onto the scene, tackling the irate patrons who charged toward Angelica and Gloria. "Are you two all right?" Tempest asked, her eyes narrowing slightly as she assessed the situation. Before Angelica could respond, Gloria stood up, filled with fury. "Refund, please." The ticket distributor obliged, and without another word, Gloria glared at Angelica. "You've made a fool out of me one too many times. I'm done. Block my number." "Gloria, wait," Angelica cried, desperation coating her words. But Gloria had already marched out, leaving Angelica feeling hollow and defeated. "It's tough out there, huh?" Tempest said, sidling up next to Angelica with a sympathetic smile. "I'm Tempest, by the way. Angelica Kravchenko," she murmured, wiping the tears that threatened to spill. "You really know how to make an entrance." Tempest chuckled softly. "You're really pretty, especially when you cry." The flattery caught Angelica off guard, and for the first time that evening, a flicker of warmth spread through her. "Thanks, I guess." "Hey, you should redeem the rest of your day," Tempest said. "How about we get tickets for another movie? I hear Enlightenment is a great choice." Angelica nodded, a semblance of hope returning as they approached the ticket counter together. After selecting their film, they ventured into the dressing room, where costumes awaited. "I'll go with this one," Angelica decided, slipping into an exquisite lace gown that accented her every curve. Tempest selected a flowing emerald dress that made her look like a woodland queen. The two women admired each other in the mirror, an unspoken bond forming between them as their laughter echoed in the dressing room. No longer was Angelica just a heartbroken girlfriend. She was a woman determined to seek new beginnings. Seated together in Auditorium 6, the atmosphere transformed as embroidered characters and stunning visuals danced across the screen. As the film unfolded, Angelica saw a tale of struggle and redemption, mirroring her own heart's journey. The blonde lead battled demons of the past but found strength through love. How fitting. When the credits rolled, Tempest leaned closer and whispered, "So, did you relate to that movie?" "Yeah," Angelica replied, her voice soft but strong. "The protagonist made mistakes, just like I did, but she sought forgiveness and found love again." Tempest's hand brushed against hers, a tentative touch that ignited something deep within Angelica's soul. "Not every mistake is irreparable," she said, her voice thick with meaning. Angelica turned to her, their eyes locking. "I don't want to be defined by my past mistakes." I want to grow past them. Tempest smiled knowingly. And every day is a chance to rewrite your story. How about you start by allowing me to take you to dinner? Yes, Angelica's enthusiasm spilled over. I'd love that. Together, they left the theater hand in hand, a new chapter unfolding before them. The bond they created was vibrant and warm, and Angelica felt a calm confidence settle within her. Perhaps every ending was just another beginning. As they walked into the evening glow, Tempest turned to Angelica and said, "You know, life has a funny way of leading us to exactly who we're meant to be with. Maybe you just needed a little adventure to explore that." With hope glistening in her heart, Angelica replied, "Then let's make this adventure unforgettable." And as they embraced under the stars, Angelica felt the weight of her past lift, ready to fulfill her destiny, side by side with someone destined to be there all along. As Angelica and Tempest stepped into the bustling streets, the city's lights flickered like fireflies against the night sky. Angelica had never anticipated finding solace in the company of a stranger. Yet here she was, feeling a connection that warmed her heart. They wandered to a cozy Italian bistro just around the corner, its outdoor patio draped in fairy lights, creating an enchanting ambience. The smell of garlic bread and fresh tomato sauce wafted through the air, as they took their seats at a quaint table adorned with a small candle. "You have a beautiful smile," Tempest said, her voice smooth as silk as she leaned in closer. "It lights up your entire face." Angelica's cheeks flushed. "Thank you. You're not so bad yourself," she replied, a hint of playfulness lacing her tone. "Especially in that gown. You look like you stepped out of a fairy tale." Tempest laughed, a melodic sound that danced in the air around them. "I'll take that compliment. We should make dressing up a regular thing. It seems to bring out our best selves." "It definitely worked tonight," Angelica said, feeling lighter with every passing moment. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, about movies, their favorite books, past loves, and dreams for the future. For the first time in what felt like forever, Angelica felt the shadows of her past lift. As they shared a plate of spaghetti, Tempest playfully twirled the noodles around her fork, then offered a bite to Angelica. "Open up," she teased. Angelica laughed, complying, allowing Tempest to feed her. The moment felt intimate and electric, their fingers brushing against each other, as they shared laughter and food. "You know," Tempest said, her expression becoming more serious, "you may have made mistakes, but it takes courage to face them. Not everyone is brave enough to confront their past." Angelica took a deep breath, appreciation filling her heart. "I'm trying to be better. Gloria taught me so much, but I let my pride get in the way. Now it feels like I'm starting anew, trying to rewrite my narrative." Tempest reached across the table, her hand enveloping Angelica's. "It's never too late to start again, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. You're worthy of love and understanding, and it's clear you're ready to embrace that." Angelica looked into Tempest's eyes, feeling a swell of emotion. "Do you really think so?" "I do," Tempest replied, squeezing her hand. "And I see potential in you and us. How about we keep exploring this together?" Angelica's heart raced at the thought of a new romance. "I would love that. It feels like destiny brought us together." After dinner, they strolled through the nearest park, the air crisp and fragrant with the scent of blooming flowers. Tempest shared tales of her adventures, how she moved across the country to pursue her passion for painting, and how art had always been her safe haven. "Maybe we can plan a day to paint together," Angelica suggested, excitement bubbling within her. "I'd love that," Tempest exclaimed. "We can let our creativity flow and get lost in colors. I'll even show you some of my secret spots." As they walked hand in hand, Angelica felt a sense of peace settle inside her. Every step away from her past felt lighter than the last, and the presence of Tempest anchored her in the present. When they reached a small pond, the moonlight reflected off the water, casting an ethereal glow. Tempest turned to Angelica, a spark in her eyes. "How about we make a wish?" "I wish?" Angelica asked, grinning. "Yeah," Tempest replied, her tone playful. "Let's throw a coin in and wish for something new. For love, adventure, whatever your heart desires." Angelica nodded, feeling a sense of whimsy wash over her. They both took a coin from their pockets, giggling as they leaned over the water. Together, they whispered their wishes before tossing the coins into the pond, watching as the ripples spread across the surface. Tempest turned to Angelica, her expression serious for a moment. You don't have to forget about your past. Just learn from it. Make space for the new things that can come into your life. I will, Angelica promised, feeling the weight of her surroundings soften. In this new landscape of exploration and possibility, she could see herself slowly healing. Good, Tempest said, leaning in closer. Now, can I steal a kiss from you? Angelica's heart jumped. I thought you'd never ask. Their lips met softly at first, a gentle exploration that built into something deeper and more fervent. The kiss seemed to linger in the air, a promise of new beginnings tinged with the sweetness of discovery. They pulled away, foreheads resting against each other, laughter dancing in their eyes. Wow, Tempest said breathlessly. That was wow. Angelica chuckled, brushing a stray hair behind her ear. Yeah, I'd say we should definitely do that more often. As they walked back, hand in hand, Angelica felt the sun rising within her. She knew that while the path ahead might not always be smooth, she'd face it with bravery. Having Tempest by her side felt like an adventure she was ready to embrace. A fresh start that promised growth, laughter, and love. Let's promise to keep pushing each other, Tempest said softly. To keep growing and exploring together, no matter what's happened before. Angelica smiled, warmth enveloping her heart. It's a promise, she vowed. Here's to new beginnings. And as they set off into the vibrant energy of the city, Angelica felt the transformative power of hope blooming inside her, a testament to the beauty of second chances and the thrill of new love. The following weeks were a breath of fresh air for Angelica and Tempest. Their connection grew deeper and more vibrant each day, intertwined with laughter, creativity, and the small adventures they shared. Each morning, Angelica woke up with a renewed sense of purpose, ready to embrace all that her life had to offer. Their painting sessions became a cherished ritual. Tempest introduced Angelica to a nearby artist's studio, a quaint space filled with easels, vibrant canvases, and walls layered in splashes of color. Under Tempest's guidance, Angelica discovered the joy of expressing her feelings through art. One sunny afternoon, as they stood side by side, brushes in hand, Tempest looked over at Angelica, who was carefully mixing colors. You know, you have a real talent for this. Your strokes are so expressive. You should consider showcasing your work someday. Angelica paused, a splash of vibrant turquoise paint staining her cheek. Showcase? Me? I've never even considered it. I've always been more of a silent admirer of art than a creator. Tempest smiled encouragingly. Art is all about vulnerability, babe. It's about showing your truth, and your truth is beautiful. You just need to believe in yourself a little more. The way Tempest spoke made Angelica's heart swell. She loved that Tempest saw potential in her, that she sometimes struggled to see. As they continued to paint, an idea began to brew in Angelica's mind. What if we had an exhibition together? You know, a night where we invite our friends and they can see our work. Tempest's eyes lit up. That's a brilliant idea. We could make it a themed event, an evening of reflection and new beginnings. It would be the perfect celebration of our journey. Driven by excitement, they began planning their exhibition, tentatively named The Journey of Us. They invited friends, prepared a cozy display of their artwork, and decorated the small gallery with fairy lights and lush greenery. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation in the days leading up to the event. As the evening of the exhibition arrived, Angelica stood in front of her canvas, her heart pounding in her chest. The piece was a kaleidoscope of colors that embodied her journey, her loneliness, her mistakes, and ultimately, her newfound love. She worried if others would resonate with it as much as she did. Tempest, sensing her apprehension, placed a reassuring hand on Angelica's shoulder. Just remember, it's about expressing who you are. You've put your heart into this piece, and that's what matters. As guests began to arrive, Angelica was swept up in a whirlwind of introductions and admiration. Her friends and family oot and awed at Tempest's imaginative landscapes and Angelica's emotional abstracts. Laughter filled the gallery as they shared stories and memories, bridging gaps of past relationships and creating connections in the present. In a moment of quiet amidst the celebration, Tempest pulled Angelica aside. "I'm so proud of you," she whispered, her eyes shimmering with warmth. "You're shining tonight." Angelica felt a rush of emotion. "I couldn't have done it without you. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself." Tempest took Angelica's hands in hers, the sincerity of her gaze creating a stillness that swallowed the noise around them. "We make a good team, don't we?" "Yes," Angelica replied, her heart racing from the intimacy of the moment. "I can't wait to see where this journey takes us." As they leaned closer, the soft brush of lips turned into a sweet, lingering kiss, inadvertently catching the attention of their guests. Laughter erupted, and cheers filled the air, celebrating not just the art but the love blooming between them. Later that night, as the exhibition wound down, Angelica gathered her courage. "Tempest, do you think we could do this more often? Not just around art but in life? Like really face what we want and build it together?" Tempest smiled, full of understanding. "Absolutely. I want us to explore everything together. Love, art, travel, our dreams. But it's also about facing the challenges ahead. We're both still healing from our pasts, and that won't disappear overnight." "I know," Angelica said, her voice steady but aware of the complexity of emotions. "But I want to do the hard work, even if it's uncomfortable." "I trust you." "Beautiful," Tempest murmured. "As long as we communicate, lean on each other, and give it time, I believe we can create something magical." That conversation lingered with Angelica, igniting the flame of determination and hope within her. She felt like they had embarked on a grand adventure, one that would take them through moments of joy and challenge alike. In the weeks that followed, Angelica and Tempest nurtured their budding relationship with laughter, late-night talks, and shared exploration of their passions. They spent weekends visiting art galleries, hiking local trails, and even tagging along to each other's work events, supporting one another in their individual pursuits. One particular weekend, as they hiked up a scenic trail overlooking the city, Tempest turned to Angelica with a mischievous glint in her eyes. "I have a surprise for you." "Oh, what is it?" Angelica inquired, her curiosity piqued. Tempest took a deep breath. "Close your eyes for a second." Angelica complied, feeling a rush of excitement. When she opened them, a canvas lay in front of her, blank but brimming with potential. "What's this?" "It's ours," Tempest declared, a gleam of enthusiasm lighting up her face. "We're going to create a mural on this canvas together, a reflection of our journey. Everything we've been through, everything we dream of becoming." With a burst of inspiration, they dove into the project, their brushes dancing across the canvas as they combined their ideas and styles. Angelica painted vibrant representations of growth and healing, flowers reaching toward the sun, butterflies symbolizing metamorphosis, while Tempest added dreamy, ethereal elements, depicting a future filled with both brightness and shadow. As the sun began to set, casting hues of orange and pink across the sky, their mural stood as a testament to their journey, a bridge between their pasts and their shared future. "Look at what we've created," Angelica said, stepping back to admire their work, breathless with the impact of their collaboration. "It's beautiful, it tells our story." Tempest's eyes sparkled. "It does. And this is just the beginning. Imagine how many stories we'll create together." As they packed up their supplies and prepared to leave, Angelica took Tempest's hand, holding it tightly. "Thank you for being my partner in all of this. I've never felt so alive, so engaged with life." "To new beginnings and endless adventures," Tempest said, raising Angelica's hand to her lips and kissing it gently. "Always," Angelica replied, their gazes locked, both feeling an unshakable connection that promised a future without limits. As they made their way down the trail, laughter danced lightly between them, and the world felt ripe with possibility, a canvas yet to be filled with the colors of their union. In that moment, Angelica knew she'd found not just a lover, but a kindred spirit, and together, they would paint beautiful masterpieces across their lives.